Hey guys, this is Fractions Day 2. Today we're going to be talking about multiplication of fractions, which is also a review. So we're not going to spend a ton of time. We're just going to go through it pretty quickly. Alright, just by way of reminder, a fraction is a part of a whole greater than 0. If we were looking at a number line where we have 0 over here and 1 over here, I might place 2/3, or I would place 2/3 right about here, and 4/5 probably right about here. Go ahead and add in on your own 1/2 and 7/8 on your paper. You should have put 1/2 right about here and 7/8 right about here. Okay, always simplify your fractions. In this unit, you're going to give your answer in the simplest form. So a couple things to remember when we're multiplying fractions. You're going to use cross-canceling whenever possible. It will make your life a lot easier. If you don't use cross-canceling, it's okay. You'll just have to simplify more. You're going to first multiply the numerators, then you're going to multiply the denominators, and then you're going to simplify again if you have to. All right, let's run through a couple examples. All right, the first one you have on your page is 7/15 times 30/49. And looking at this, I can see that I can cross-cancel with my 7 and 49. I'll divide both by 7 and put a 1 up there and then a 7 down here. And then I can cross-cancel my 15 and 30 and divide both by 15. So I'll put a 1 there and I'll put a... Oh, my pen is really messing up. Okay, so I divided 15 and 30 by 15. I got a 1 down there and then a 2 up there. And then now I'm ready to multiply. So 1 times 2, I'm going to multiply my numerators, is 2. And I multiply my denominators, 1 times 7 is 7. All right, let's do the next one. Okay, so looking at this, I notice that I can cross-cancel with my 8 and my 16. And I get 1 down there and 2 up there by the 16. And I can multiply my 2 and my 24, so I'll divide both of those by 2. And put 1 up there and 12 down there. Now I'm ready to multiply. So I'm going to multiply 7 times 1, and I'll get 7, and 1 times 12, and I'll get 12. So 7/12. All right, now you have 8/24 times 6/12. So we can cross-cancel a bunch of ways here. So remember, when we're cross-canceling, we're just choosing one numerator and one denominator from anywhere in our problem. It can be actually even in the same fraction. So, but for now, let's do 6 and 24. So we'll divide both by 6, and we'll get 1 here and 4 down here. And let's do 4 and 8. So let's divide both of those by 4. Get 1 here and 2 up here. Now let's cross-cancel it and divide 2 and 12. So both by 2. So let's get 1 here and 6 down here. Now we've got 1 times 1 in our numerators, so that's just 1. And 1 times 6 in our denominator, which is 6. So we end up with 1/6. Okay, so the next task that we need to do is multiply with mixed numbers. So in order to multiply with mixed numbers, we need to change those mixed numbers to improper fractions. And then we're going to multiply. And we can do this a couple different ways. I'll teach you the easiest way, and then I'll show you why it works. So to change 1 and 5/7 to an improper fraction, I'm going to multiply the 7 times 1. Here we go. And I'll put a little multiplication sign there, which is 7. And then I'm going to add the 5 to it, which is 12. So that becomes 12/7 times 1/6. Now here's why that works. If we were to write the 1 as a fraction, we would write 7 over 7, and we would want to keep it in sevenths since we're working with sevenths. So we would have 7/7 plus 5/7, which would equal 12/7. So it's the same thing. The one way is just a shortcut. Okay, so now we have 12/7 times 1/6, and then we can cross-cancel. We can divide here, divide both of those by 6. And we get 2 up there and 1 in the bottom. Now we've got 2 times 1 in our numerator and 7 times 1 in our denominator. And we're going to end up with 2/7. Okay, let's do the next one. We have 2 1/2 times 4/5. We're going to multiply over here to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So we'll do 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 1, which is 5, and we end up with 5 halves times 4 fifths. So we could cross cancel a bunch of times here if we wanted to, couldn't we? We could cross this off, 5 and 5, divide both by 5 and get 1. We could cross cancel here, divide that by 2 and the 4 by 2, and we get 1 and 2. And then we're going to multiply the numerators. So 1 times 2 is 2, and the denominator is 1 times 1 is 1, and we're going to end up with an answer of 2. Okay, let's do the third one. All right, so now we've got 3 fractions here, and this is not any harder than multiplying with just 2 fractions, and the same things apply. So this is pretty cool because we can cross cancel any numerator and any denominator in the problem. They don't need to be right next to each other. So let's take a look at the 7 and 35. Oops, we can actually cross cancel those two at the same time. So I'll divide that by 7, and I'll divide the 35 by 7. I get 5. And let's see, I could cross cancel the 5 and 40. I'll get 1 here and 8 here. And then I could cross cancel the 6 and the 3, and I'll get 1 here, and I'll get, whoops. So I can go, and after cross canceling the 6 and the 3, I'm going to have a 2 up here, and then a 1 down here. And then I can actually cross cancel again because I still had this 8 over here, plus the 2, and I divide both of those by 2, and I get 1 over here, and 4 down here, and then I'm ready to multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1, times 4 is 4. And we're going to want to go ahead and simplify that. So 5 fourths is going to simplify into 4 fourths plus 1 fourth, which is going to be 1 and 1 fourth. All right, that's it. You should go ahead and try all the Toyos on the back, please. And go ahead and check in with me if you still have questions about multiplication of fractions.